the engineer is not licensed, doesn't have PE license, he's still responsible for anything safety that he do. He or she said false. So that's -5. Okay, I think. Now we will memorize that. Part 2, true or false. You can see the distribution. I think I like this one. It tells like that one person get between 5 and 7. That means maybe he did or she did a lot better on the calculation part, maybe. So this can spread between the person who memorize something and don't try to memorize anything. But look, this is not that important, okay? So we have what? 90 points from calculation, right? The memorizing part is just 10 points. If you have 10 points from memorized part and 90 points from calculation part, you get full score. And you don't have to memorize much. You can just do ethics part and you memorize just 5. And then you're done. You get full score on calculation and then you're good. Right? Okay. Part 3, question 1 is about this. It's about Part 3, question 1. It's about do the conversion. Who haven't looked at the solution yet? If you do it correct, you don't need to look at the solution, and if we ask you again, you'll be just fine. Probably I don't ask you again. So there's a solution, calculate the molecular weight, get the mole percent first, and then do the weighted average. Is it easy enough? Yes? Yes, and we have something similar to this in homework. Do we not? Did we? Yes, we did. Okay. I don't show it to you. Okay. We have it. I can show you this instead. Okay. On that question, 45 students did it wrong. Okay. And 10 students did it right. Oh, no. 20 students did it right. So 2/3 of you did it wrong. Try to improve, okay? It's not that difficult. Part 3, question 2 is this. Calculate the theoretical pipe size. It's quite concerned that we have this part of student that didn't do it correct. You know why? Because this time the equation is given. Everything is given. What you need to do is just put the number in the formula, do the calculation. That's it. Right? It's about this. 3.2. V equal to 60 something. Put the number in, do the calculation, get diameter. Just that. I think you should be able to do it, right? And almost all of you did it just fine. Okay. So not all of you. Less than 70 students. We have 78 students in this class. Less than 70 students get 10. Okay. Some of you don't do something wrong, and one of you may be very wrong. 3-3. Most of you can do this, okay? 3-3 is 3-3. Canberra calculation. Okay, volume of the tank 20.1 multiplied by 20, and then we get barrel, right? 20.1 is barrel per feet, and we know that it's 80% full, and we know that it's 20 feet height, so 20 multiplied by 20.1, we get volume of the tank. And multiplied by 0.8 because it's 80% full. Retention time is 8 hours or 1/3 of the day. flow rate that make this much retention time, we just do that number divided by 1/3, get that value. Very, very easy. Is it? Very easy. VBE. Okay, very, very easy. Let's see how good I did. Oh, I did very good. Most of you, less than 60 students did it just fine. Maybe 20, about 20 students didn't do it correct. Okay. Some of them between 0 and 1. What's going on here? I understand that the formula is not given, but you must be able to do it, okay? For the easy part, you should be able to do it. So, if you come to see me, say, hey, it's very difficult, I will disagree, of course, because majority of you did it right. If you want to tell me now who are these people, you can raise your hand, or maybe you just come to sit on the front seat, okay, so that you can improve. Okay, 3-4. 3-4, most of you did it right. Some of you maybe do some mistake in the calculation, but that person didn't do it or something. I'm so worried about her or him. Okay. 3-4 is about incoming gas line heater, right? Line heater question. This question. Okay, one thing about this question on the line heater. Is this just a graph? You see this graph? It is in the exam every year, okay? If you get 0, it is not my fault. If you look at this graph can give more accuracy than this graph, okay? The dashed line here do the same function as this graph, hidden phase envelope. But if you do the reading from here, it's more accurate, all right? And it's a line heater calculation, okay? That's a solution. And next is calculate how much is C1. And this is example of the solution, which is very close, right? Is it very close? This is about 110. The answer that I got is about 109.45. So if you get something close to the hint, you should be fine. Or you don't know that that is a hint in the exam. Probably not. Here's the derivation. And the last one is the compressor, vapor recovery unit. Okay. So derivation of C value. I have 50 students know that there's a hint over there, so they get it right. They do until they get it right. About 15 students, yeah, maybe make some mistake, and some of us didn't do it correct. What's going on here? Is this too tricky? Of course, the problem with this one is that I think it's fair because most of you get it right, but the equation is not given. You have to be able to come up with the equation by yourself. Okay, so this means you understand the principle. Okay, last one. I think I like this one more. Okay, compressor equation. We grade it like this. If you use PSIG instead of PSIA, and you didn't assume interstage cooler, I think you get about 5 or 8, I don't know, but less than 10. If you use PSIG and use interstage cooler, maybe 8 to 12 or something. I have to check with grader. If you didn't do interstage cooler, but you use PSIA and do everything right, I think you get about 12 or something. If you use interstage cooler, use PSIA, do everything right, you get 20. Okay? And I have some question about the exam. Didn't tell that we need to have interstage cooler. Okay. Did I tell you that we need to have interstage cooler? No, I did not. What if students come up with one stage? If students come up with one stage by saying that we have interstage cooler, that's too much hint, right? This means I hint them that we need to have more than one stage. And interstage cooler, if we have more than one stage without interstage cooler, what's the point? What's the point of doing that? If you recall, when we have interstage cooler, interstage cooler help us on doing what? Reduce the amount of horsepower, right? You remember this? We have first stage. From A to D, what do we do over there? We cool it down. And the reason that we cool it down is we can use less Victor. Are we fine? We don't worry much about the solution. You want to come up front? Do you want me to ask you to come up front? Not yet? Okay, I don't do that yet, but if you talk again, I will ask you to come sit in the front for the rest of the semester, okay? Okay, two-stage compression. Look at this. We need the interstage cooler for sure. There is no point to do more than one stage without interstage cooler. When we have interstage cooler, the horsepower required to do the same compression is less. Okay? And when we have, and not only here, what about this picture? Did I not explain that we have interstage cooler? Yes, we have interstage cooler, right? But when it's not obvious, I told you in the class, right? Use your best engineering judgment to do the exam. Decide the best you can. And if your engineering judgment say no interstage cooler, I think that's 12 out of 20. Okay? And however, I don't think you have to worry about this one too much. It's just a bonus. Okay? It's just a bonus. We can do 100. Okay? It's just a bonus part. Okay, look at this. I have one student get 120. Do you want me to name him? Or do you want to name yourself? No? Okay, let's skip. We have two students that 118.
I want to clap for him. Let's
Oh. No, let's not clap for him. I only me, okay, just me. Okay, one student get 116, 115 or something, and we have how many people? Many people, okay. 100 and above is this much. Okay, that's 100 and above. So I have about 3, 4, so more than 10. More than 10 get 100 and above. So after adjustment, after we cap it, 19 students get 100. Okay, 19 students get 100. If you are not one of that 19, it's okay. If you still within this group, maybe this A and B and C. Okay? If you are over there, it doesn't mean that it's hopeless, but just try more when you do. It's not hopeless, okay? You can still get better grade. Please do more when you do the project and the exam 2, okay? Exam 2, the style of the exam is similar to this exam 1. So calculation is a must, okay? And we have, after we cap it, maximum is 100, minimum is 58, and average is 87, okay? I think you do it just fine. If you do, I don't curve anything, okay? If all of you didn't pass, I can fail everyone, okay? But if everyone pass, I can give you all A, okay? It's whether you can do the exam or not. If you cannot do it, you didn't earn it. But okay, I'll clap your hand for you. Now you can clap, Levi. You want to clap? Yeah. I think you did good. 87 is very good. 87 is very good. Question on this. Anyone want to see their exam? No one? Really? Do you want to see your exam? How many? 1? Raise your hand, raise your hand. What do you get? What do you get right? Not many. Raise your hand up high, up high, up high. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Next week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, during the office hours, Arya Shadi will sit in his office hour upstairs and be ready for you. Do you have the presentation or anything that day? The office hour is 11 to 12, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Please come. He will show you. And most of the time, he won't give you any more point, okay? Because it was graded consistently with other students. So if you get -1, other students who do the same thing get the same score too. Good? Are you happy? I think most of you should be happy because 87 is a lot, right? So this exam count 20 points, right? If we get 90 points, let's say 90 points. 90 points means you lose just 2 points from the final grade, correct? So if you keep doing this, you get A. Not happy? Smile. Not happy at all. Okay, question on the homework. I have one question about vapor recovery unit. Okay, on the homework you have to do the design of vapor recovery unit. And what if we produce just oil? Didn't do anything with gas. How much should vapor recovery unit handle? I asked Mr. Bullard, he suggests about 100 standard cubic foot per day, or less than 500 standard cubic foot per day. Okay, the vapor itself. If we don't produce much gas. If this is for normal operation, if some abnormal thing happen, we need to use the deep hatch to vent it to the atmosphere. Okay, that's for emergency case. Okay. Do you have all the number to do everything on the design? Yes or no? No, probably not. Yes, question.
I just have a question about how to determine whether or not you have a loose, a moderate, or tight origin. Is there any way to do that?
How the question is, how do we know if we have loose, tight, or some moderate emulsion? On the project, you will not know that. Okay. What you need to say is, we suggest a bottle test. We can do the bottle test, right? Bottle test is checking it and measure the time that is separate. Okay. So you would say something like, okay, if within the information given, we don't have the information on whether the emulsion is tight, loose, or moderate. To get this information, the bottle test is suggest. Bottle test can be conducted by measure the time of separation of water from emulsion, and emulsion prepared by mixing water with oil, shaking it and wait and see how much it separates. You remember this lecture? And you discuss a little bit more. Like most of the time for light oil, the emulsion problem tends to be small. For heavier oil or lower API gravity oil, the tendency to have emulsion is high. In this project, we assume the emulsion to be moderate. This is to be on the realistic side. Do you produce water? You have water? What is API gravity? 10 to 30?
Much higher, about 45.
Oh, no emulsion for 45. 45, you expect no emulsion, right? Because it's very light. But you will still have to discuss that okay, bottle test is suggested to ensure that there's no emulsion at all, something. Good?
Yes, sir.
Question on the project. Do you know that this time, those who are in the same group must submit the same thing? You know that? Who is only one in this course? Just you. You are only one person of your team. Do you need help? Do you need more help? Exactly. Okay, exactly. please go see Arya tomorrow or maybe me tomorrow, okay? When is homework due? Thursday, okay? So most of you have more than one person, right? For more than one person, you have to do more, you know that, right? There's a grading thing, okay? No more question? Question on the homework? On the project? Not yet? Okay, let's continue. What about the quiz? Was you able to do the quiz? You did it just okay because it's exactly the same, right? Maybe I make it a little easier so that you don't have to use calculator, just that. Let's continue with the pump calculation. Last time we stopped here, okay? We talked about the pump, we look at the video, and we talk about Hansen-Williams equation. And I told you that we don't use it, okay? Most of the time we don't use it, but the only case that we use it is to double check whether the answer that we get is correct or not. Volunteer. No volunteer. Demila. Okay, why don't I use Hansen-Williams equation? What's the problem with it? What is the problem with Hansen-Williams equation? Yes, you, Demila. Yes, sir.
I didn't volunteer though.
I asked you, there's no volunteer. Actually, there's one, but I asked you.
What's the question?
Because I see that you keep looking at your cell phone.
Checking my grades.
Your grade is good, I think. So Hansen-Williams equation, why do we not use it? What's the problem with it? What's the limitation of this equation? Don't tell him. Damila, come on. What? Could you please come to the podium? Yeah, come on. Can I hear you? Yes. Yeah, come here. Okay. What's the problem with Hansen-Williams equation? Huh?
No, give us some options.
I do not give you any option. How about previous slide? And would you like to sit in the front? We will see you next time that you don't pay much attention. I will ask you to come to the front, okay? Don't talk to Victor. No. So thank you, sir. Hansen-Williams, the limitation of Hansen-Williams equation is, it's assumed water viscosity to do every calculation. Do you have water flow in the pipe or oil? Oil, right? You don't have water. You have oil. So if we do the calculation with water, if your viscosity is close to water, it's fine. But close to water means 1 centipoise. Even condensate viscosity is about 2 to 3 centipoise, or maybe 4 centipoise, depending on temperature. Crude oil viscosity can be 8 centipoise, 10 centipoise. Okay, if it has water in it, it can be 20 centipoise. Okay, so Hansen-Williams equation is for 1 cp. 1 cp only. So it's going to predict some lower value than usual, okay? Because it's assumed density and viscosity of water for the calculation. So in the quiz, if I ask you, okay, between Hansen-Williams equation and Colebrook equation, when we calculate the pressure drop, which equation gives us more pressure drop? You will be able to tell me, for the case of oil. So Hansen-Williams equation will give us less pressure drop because it uses water viscosity. Okay, when we do the calculation for oil, it's off, but it's good in the sense that it is a quick estimation. Okay, at least the pressure drop has to be as much as what we get from Hazen-Williams equation. If we get lower than that, for the case of oil, this means there's a problem. Okay? And the formula is easy. We just put the number in and then we get the value, get the head. Okay, this is pressure drop for the case of liquid, mostly water. Good? So, do we not use it at all? We can still use it, okay? But keep in mind that the actual pressure drop will be higher than this, okay? Because this is a low, this one uses a water viscosity. And C factor, okay? C factor is about the roughness of the pipe. We just put the roughness of the pipe in, do the calculation, and we get the result. And if the pipe rough, then we have more pressure drop. If it's smooth, we have less pressure drop. Okay. Another one is Moody diagram. Moody diagram has two parts. Are we done yet? Okay. This formula, you see this one, delta P over the L, F, rho V square over 2D. If it is fanning friction factor, you don't have that 2. 2 will go on top, okay? If it is fanning, but for Moody friction factor, the formula that you have is already correct. Are you ready to memorize this? I'm asking you to memorize this equation, at least for the next quiz, okay? Delta P over delta L equal to F rho V square over 2D, and that F is Moody friction factor. Okay? You need to know that F is Moody friction factor. If I write 2F rho V square over D, then that F is fanning friction factor. Okay? And you need to know that Moody friction factor is 4 times more than fanning friction factor. Or fanning friction factor F sub F multiplied by 4 equal to Moody friction factor. Okay? You need to know this. Are you done with memorizing? Okay, memorize that. Memorize that. Okay. In this case, everything is in SI. Okay. Pressure is in Pascal, length is meter, viscosity is Pascal second, and Moody friction factor and everything. Okay. Jared, you volunteer, right? So 1 centipoise is equal to how much Pascal second? 1 centipoise equal to 0.001. Okay. 1 centipoise is 0.001 Pascal second. So 1 Pascal second is what? 1,000 centipoise. It's a lot. Okay. Water viscosity. What about gas viscosity, Jared? How much is gas viscosity? Just a typical value. Gas viscosity.
Very small.
Huh?
Small value.
Yeah, what is the order of magnitude? I know that it's small. How much? You will, if you are doing homework, you Google it, okay? If you do your project, you Google it. But most of the time, it's 0.00018 or maybe 0.002, okay? 2 times 10 to the power of minus 5 Pascal second, okay? That is the rough viscosity value, okay? Order of magnitude of it. Why do we need to know the typical value of it? So that's for a quick calculation, right? Most of the time, other team member who should do like gas composition or should do like gas flow rate or something are not done yet, but we have to start with the calculation. What do? I have to assume some value in the Excel, right? For the viscosity and start the calculation. Once I get the accurate value of that viscosity, I plug it in and my Excel sheet update automatically. Good? Another approach is say, hey, I have incomplete information, I stop, I don't do anything. Don't do that, right? Okay? If you do that, it's not going to be done. Okay, here's the derivation of 7,741.92. Conversion factor for other unit. Review this. Okay, review this. This could be in the exam. Okay? How do we get this? Starting from rho v moment. Or maybe it's not going to be an exam, but you review it. Right? Pressure loss in height, we put this already, so it's just a conversion, right? No, height, velocity, friction factor, length. So you have F v square, that's v square over 2d. Okay, that is this one, the one that you just memorized. F rho v square over 2d equal to pressure gradient delta p by delta L. Delta p is a pressure drop with length. Okay. So this time the equation doesn't have rho. There's no rho in it on the top, and on the bottom I have g sub c. I do that on purpose. This is to convert from the SI unit to the field unit. So if I remove rho and I add g sub c, I automatically get the head. Got it? So the formula that you memorize, F rho v square over 2d equal to delta p over delta L. That equation, if we remove rho on the top and add g sub c on the bottom, it will do the unit conversion and we will get height. Okay, pressure loss in height. Tolani, do we have all students or who missed this class? Can you check? No one missed. Okay.
I know, I didn't use the sign up sheet, I just take from the screen.
You don't need to do the sign-up sheet. Tolani will check from the quiz. Okay. All right. Frictional pressure loss. H sub F. That one we put it in where? Where's my friction thing? Over here, right? So frictional pressure loss depend on velocity square. Okay, velocity square and linear with length. Okay. So for the same pipe, if we increase the flow rate 2 times, pressure drop, frictional pressure loss go up what? 2 times? 4 times, roughly. Okay. I say roughly because there's something to do with F sub m too. Okay. F sub m is a friction factor and it's a function of Reynolds number and this velocity. So we know how to do that calculation. When we put everything together, we can do the pump calculation. Okay. Who have not done this yet? This particular example. Have you seen it? Basma? Have you seen it? No? Levi? Have you seen this?
Yes, sir.
Stephen? No? When you take your fluid mechanics class? Chemical engineering department or what? Who teach you fluid mechanics? What's the name of the professor? What? You want to blame the professor? It should be there. This question should be there, okay? What did you learn? Friction factor? Okay, just that. Not this one. Have you used this before? Okay. Will you remember on the exam, sir? Okay. You don't need to know anything until the exam date, okay? On the exam date, you will be able to do this. This equation, I think on the last exam is given, and I think I will give it again, but I will give just that. Not the explanation on what is what. And that is for your headache, okay? The given part is on the top, just that. But you need to know, right? What is this? V2 square minus V1 square. What is that, Stephen? What's that about? First of all, Stephen, what is the name of this equation? Name. Could you please read it? That's the name. Okay, instead of saying you don't know, that's the name. So this is mechanical energy balance. This tells us that the only way that we can have the change in velocity in the combination of the change in the elevation and the change in pressure, okay, depending on whether we add work into it or how much friction loss and accelerational friction loss, E sub V. E sub V is accelerational pressure drop. I call it accelerational pressure drop because it depends on how it's accelerate or decelerate. Decelerate means velocity go down, right? When velocity go down, let's think about this kind of geometry. Okay, flow in the expansion. It's expand. We have the flow coming in. Okay, constant mass flow rate. Theoretically, what will happen is we flow fast over here, and then we have to flow slower over there, right? Is that right? This is to have velocity multiplied by area equal to velocity multiplied by area. Mass conservation. Assume no expansion or change in density, okay? Conservation of mass. So V1A1 equal to V2A2. So what happened in here? In this case, flow through the expansion, we have velocity go up or down, Stephen? Down. What about pressure? Not quite. I don't quite agree. Okay, let's remove that term. Assume no pump. Okay, no pump, no W hat, right? No friction, no acceleration or pressure loss, no loss at all. Okay, so if we have velocity go down, V2 square minus V1 square is negative, right? What about P2 minus P1, Stephen? Positive. So when we flow slower, we gain pressure. So this is kind of binary equation, which binary equation is for inviscid flow, no viscosity. But this is mechanical energy balance is include the friction term. The friction term and the acceleration of loss. So when we flow slower, we gain pressure, okay, assuming no loss. However, that is not always true because this. So look at this case. When we have expansion and flow through expansion slowly, so velocity slowly decreasing, right? That's okay. But what if we have something like this? It coming out. So it will be like a jet, right? There's eddies over here. So when this happens, we don't gain pressure, we lost pressure. Okay. If it's not that sudden expansion, it have like this kind of expansion. We have flow in the middle, yes, that is a streamline, but the streamline will detach from the boundary. That is the boundary, right? So the streamline actually detached, and we have some eddies over there. Okay. So whenever the streamline detach and we have some eddies over there, that's called detachment from the boundary. Okay, detachment of the boundary layer. In that case, we don't gain pressure, we lost pressure. So flow through the expansion, most of the time we lost pressure. Only for the case that slowly expanding, in that case we gain pressure. How much pressure do we lose in here? Is it a lot? Not a lot? I don't know, but we have this formula. Okay. Sudden expansion. That's the formula. Beta. What's that? I will check that formula again. I think maybe that's 1 over beta or something. We have orifice, plate, elbow or something. So let's say I flow through orifice plate. Okay. How much is E sub V? I put beta, 1 minus beta multiplied by 1 minus beta square multiplied by beta minus to the power minus 2 something. If this table will be given to, okay. If it's not given, you cannot do it. Okay. My point is for sudden expansion, sudden contraction, or elbow or anything, we have acceleration or pressure loss. There is a change of the velocity or the change of the direction. So 90-degree elbow. When we flow like this, we go in, that's a change of the direction, right? That's a loss, okay? And the loss, okay, E sub B is about 1.3 to 1.9. You may assume 1.5 or something. Oh, okay. If we do the actual design, you have 45-degree elbow. Textbook say 0.3 to 0.4. What do you use? In the middle value? Okay. What you use is important, but more importantly is you need to be able to tell, let's say you use the highest value. Is that going to over-predict or under-predict the pressure loss? That you need to know, okay? You may say, hey, we do the most conservative approach. We try to predict the maximum possible pressure drop. So in that case, we use what? High value or low value? Beck J. Martin, high value or low value of V sub B? If you want to be very conservative.
Well,
Taylor P. Martin. Taylor, do you want to use high value or low value for maximum possible pressure drop? High. Good, yes. Because they add together, right? E sub B represents the loss. If we want to be very conservative or get most possible pressure drop, we use the high end value, okay? You don't say, hey, I want to be very conservative and I use the lowest one. No, okay, we use the highest one.